and welcome to another exciting fireside chat from the sidelines of the ICR Conference here in Orlando, Florida. I'm Jarrett Banks, editor at large of IPO Edge, CorpGov, and Exec Edge, joined by my guest, George Wetz, the CEO and co-founder of Yumpingo. George, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Please tell us what Yumpingo is all about.
We're all about helping restaurants, particularly experience-led restaurants, fundamentally improve their food and service. We do that in a few ways, but where we're really trying to get to as a business where we work with partners is focusing on creating a killer value proposition on every aspect of their menu for their guests, and then executing on that day in, day out at all their locations. So we do that using a combination of direct feedback, analysis on that feedback, and then giving really simple insights for everyone in the restaurant business that can go through and act on it.
Fantastic. Tell us about some of your current offerings and how your platform supports these restaurants.
Current offerings, everything's geared towards those two kind of areas. I mean, a big part of the offering right now that we're seeing because of inflation and the focus on value in the market is using sentiment data on every menu item to make sure that each item is really hitting the value proposition customers are expecting. So rather than looking at lagging indicators like sales data, for example, by getting information from customers on every single item, on the look, the taste, the portion, the value, operators are starting to make really smart and forward-looking decisions using this intelligence of the data so that they can evolve their proposition more quickly. That's been a really big one for us. And then the second is an area we call smart actions, but it's all around helping get that information to frontline teams that can really affect change within the restaurant organization. So rather than monthly retrospective reports sitting in head office, now each week teams are getting a list of 2, 3, or 4 actions that they can go off and make those changes. And what we see through that is effectively customer churn decreases over time because quality standards are raised consistently.
Very cool. Which restaurants are you working with?
So in the US, I'd probably speak to companies like Iron Hill Brewery. They're a great concept, multi-location, brewery-led, but really experience-led is our heartland. Rosa Mexicano, we call that in New York, really like nice high-end concept there. And Modern Market as well, I think is another one I'd call up because they're in the fast casual space, which has been a really growing area for us as we've moved through COVID, and we've seen a tremendous growth in that space generally across the sector.
Fantastic. And how do you stand apart from other competitors in this market?
For us, there's probably 3 ways. First is just the sense of clarity of what's really going on in the restaurant environment. So by getting a high volume of data and having a specific data model we've created around the guest experience, we're able to get to the real root cause of satisfaction and dissatisfaction. And it gives those who are looking after restaurant brands real confidence in what they're seeing in the data is accurate representation of reality. The second is just like the simplicity of it. So we create our insights specifically for each different job role within the restaurant operation. So there's something for them, and it just makes it very easy to use. They don't have to be a data analyst, they don't have to interpret lots of charts and trends and things like that. It will just give them bites of kind of what they should be focusing on. I think the third thing is just proven impact. We've seen across our customer base, those that are using the platform well, reducing the number of unhappy or dissatisfied customers by between 25 and up to 40%. And what that in turn is doing is meaning those customers are coming back, spending more money, doing that second, third, fourth visit in the year. And that's proven across the customer base. I think that's one of the things ultimately that is really important right now in the market. When you're making technology choices, it's got to have proven ROI. And that's something that we really hang on.
Okay, great. Now, what are some real world examples that you can give us of some changes that you recommended and that operators implemented?
I think without saying the brand names, but a common thing that we've seen as a trend recently is how does the off-premise menu compare to the on-premise menu? And there's probably a couple of examples I call out. One would be how many items do you actually offer on the menu off premise, and what should the pricing of that be?
Right.
So by using the platform and data and comparing the two, we've seen operators dramatically trim down the number of menu items they offer, just keeping it to those that are traveling well, and also reducing the complexity of it. Like through the labor challenges last year, the last thing you want to do was add more complexity. And so by removing some elements of items maybe, and changing the operational process a bit for the off-premise, that's been a really successful one. Another thing I just talk about is just the actual ingredients that are going in. Some ingredients and suppliers will make things travel better versus ones that are better when they're freshly prepared and on location as well. So we've seen a lot of experimentation with understanding, could we change that pizza base, or could we change those fries for something that's going to be better for our customers that aren't experiencing it on premise.
Okay, and based on those insights, that data that you're collecting, what are the biggest challenges that some of the operators are seeing this year?
Challenges in terms of
just in general, what do you see as the biggest challenges for operators in 2023?
I think what I've observed is last year, with regards to inflation, there was it was very reactive because you just had to make changes with regards to menu, pricing, supply chain, and it happened very quickly. I'm seeing operators be more strategic and thoughtful now because they've got a bit of time to breathe, or had a bit of time to breathe. So what I'm anticipating is looking more long term now with every item on the menu and the experience, and trying to see which parts they really want to focus on with their core proposition to their customers. I'd say that's been a big trend that I've seen.
Now, you started in the UK.
Yeah.
What are your plans for growth here in the US?
Get more customers and grow.
Okay.
I mean, so we started 6 years ago out of London in the UK. Acquired our first customers over here through COVID, really, a couple of years ago. And then as a founding team, made the move about a year ago to be over here. So being actually here in the local market, working with our customers and speaking to more and more people has been just very helpful in doing that, and understanding the nuances of the American consumer and the American brands as well, and adapting our products a little bit to the American market.
All right. Tell us a little bit about the business in the past year. What were some of the challenges, the lingering effects of COVID? How did you deal with all of that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a difficult time. I'd even go back to during COVID, where we were as a company prior, was we exclusively focused on full service restaurants and the on-premise experience only.
Right.
So just as our customers had to adapt overnight to be able to still stay open and serve their customers, we had to pivot our platform and our approach as well. So that's why we've now got a multi-channel approach, and why we're able to work with sort of different service styles like artificial. So that's the main thing.
Okay. And what's a big focus for the restaurant industry this year?
Big focus for the industry.
What are you most excited about this year?
I think I'm most excited about the opportunities that brands who really focus on the customer experience are going to have to win in the market. Like, there's parts of the market that are going to get squeezed this year, I think, because of consumer sentiment, how people are choosing to eat out. But I'm really excited of working with and following the brands that are placing the customer at the heart of everything they do, and just relentlessly driving forward to improve and meet those brand standards. And I think those that do that really well are going to keep retaining their customers. They can keep spending money. I think if we're not focused on the customer, it's really challenging in the current ecosystem.
All right. Well, thank you so much. This has been George Wetz, the CEO here. Thank you so much. And signing off from Orlando.